Beloved soul, listen closely now, because what we are about to reveal is something many never understand in their lifetime. There are people who truly regret what they did to not only in the physical world but in the spiritual world as well. You may not know the full story, you may only remember the betrayal. The sudden coldness, the least strange feeling that something deeper was happening behind the scenes. And you were right, because the wounds you felt were not only emotional, they were spiritual. Some people did not simply walk away from Yavi, tried to interfere with the light placed inside. Yavi spoke against you when you were not present, they mocked your calling. They doubted your destiny, some even tried to manipulate spiritual energy against. You're not understanding what they were touching, not realizing that you were protected, not realizing that heaven itself had marked your path. Long before they ever met you, no time has passed and something unexpected is happening inside. Fem regreta, deep, heavy regret that sits quietly in their spirit, cause they are beginning to see something they could not see before. You were never their enemy, you were never the problem. You were a mirror reflecting their fears, their insecurity, unhealed wounds, and instead of healing themselves they chose to fight you. But there is something they did not understand. You were not sent into their life to be destroyed. You were sent as a test of their heart, and many failed that test. But listen carefully to this next truth. Thy regret does not come from your revenge. It does not come from punishment. It comes from realization, kind of realization that arrives slowly, sometimes painfully, when they begin to watch your life move forward, when they see you still standing, still growing, still walking with quiet strength despite everything they tried to don't. That is when their spirit begins to whisper questions to them. Why did I treat that person like that? Why did I try to break someone who only wanted peace? Why did I speak against someone who never truly harmed me? These questions follow them into quiet moments, into late nights, into silent reflections, because the truth has a way of returning even when people try to ignore it. Beloved one, you must understand something important. Their regret is not your responsibility. You are not here to carry their guilt. You are not here to fix the conscience. They ignored. Your role was never to chase their understanding. The role was simply to remain true to your soul. And you did, even when it was difficult, even when you felt misunderstood, even when you felt abandoned, even when you cried alone and wondered why things unfolded the way they did. Even saw those moments, and every tear you shed was counted. Not one was wasted, because those painful seasons were shaping something powerful inside your strength, wisdom, deeper connection with the divine. And now something has shifted while you were quietly healing, while you were slowly rebuilding your peace. Those who tried to harm you spiritually began facing something unexpected. Their own reflection, because when someone attacks light, eventually they must face the darkness within themselves. And that moment is never comfortable. Some of them are now realizing the depth of what they did. They remember the words they spoke, they remember the lies they spread, they remember the manipulation, and for the first time their spirit feels heavy with understanding. But here is something you must hear clearly. Their regret does not change your purpose. Your destiny did not stop. Because of their actions, your light was never taken away. It was only refined, stronger, powerful than before. And this is why their realization feels so overwhelming to them, because They expected you to fall thee, expected you to break thee, expected your spirit to collapse under the weight of what they did but. Instead you continued rising quietly, patently, by step, without needing their approval, without needing their apology, and that confuses them because deep down they know something now. They were fighting someone who was spiritually protected, and when a person begins to realize that regret begins to grow in it, because you punished them, but because truth revealed itself, some of them wish they could go back in time. They wish they had treated you differently. They wish they had listened instead of judging. They wish they had supported you instead of competing with you. But time does not move backward. Life continues forward, and every soul must live with the choices they made. Beloved one, this is why we tell you something important today. You do not need to seek revenge. You do not need to prove your worth. You do not need to reopen old wounds to explain yourself. Your peace is already your victoria. Growth is already your answer. Your calm spirit is already your justice speckhouse. When someone expected your destruction but instead witnesses your transformation, realization becomes its own lesson, and lessons born from truth are powerful. Some people will quietly carry that lesson for the rest of their lives, not because you force them to, but because their conscience awakens. And when conscience awakens, the soul begins to understand things it once ignored. Now listen closely to this final message. Our heart must not become hard because of what happened. Pain can sometimes tempt a soul to close itself, to become God dead. Stop trusting, to stop loving. But that is not your path. You were not created to become cold. You were created to become wise. Wisdom is different from bitterness. Wisdom allows you to see clearly, to protect your peace, to recognize who deserves access to your energy, but it does not poison your heart. And that is why your spirit continues to shine, because you chose healing instead of hatchet, growth instead of revenge, excellence instead of cause, and heaven honors that choice more than you realize. So release the weight of their regret. It is not yours to carry. Let them learn their lesson. Let them face their realization. Your journey is moving somewhere far greater now. New connections, opportunity, and new moments of peace, because the chapter of pain you survived was not the end of your story. It was preparation. Preparation for a life that requires strength, clarity, and a heart that cannot easily be shaken. And you now carry that strength within you more than you know, more than you sometimes believe. But we see it clearly, always heavy, and we always will continue walking forward. Continue trusting the quiet guidance inside your spirit. Cows, the path ahead of you was never meant to be controlled by those who misunderstood you. It was always guided by something higher, and that higher guide, Donchahos, never left Yanet for a single moment. Heaven, in the days when you felt completely alone, you were there watching, prompting, whispering strength into your spirit. And now as you move forward into the next chapter of your life, remember this truth: what others regret cannot define who you are. What they did cannot cancel what you were meant to become. Your light is still here. Your purpose is still alive, and the future waiting for you is far greater than anything they ever tried to take away from you. And there is something else you must understand now, because the story did not end when they walked away from you. Spiritual world continued moving quietly, painfully. Everything unfolds. You may have thought the chapter was finished. You may Have believed that those people forgot about you, comfort telebit the truth is different your name. Still crosses their mind, your energy still appears in their thoughts, not because you chase them, not because you try to remind them, but because the spirit remembers what the mind tries to bury, and sometimes their memories return in the quietest moments. A random thought, a sudden feeling, a dream. They cannot explain. They remember how they treated you. They remember the moment they chose pride instead of honesty, and something inside them shifts because regret often arrives long after the damage is done. But listen carefully, this is not happening so that you will feel powerful over them. This is not happening so that you will celebrate their guilt. This is happening because truth always completes its circle. No action disappears into nothing. Every word, every intention, every spiritual act leaves an imprint, and those imprints eventually return to the one who created them. Some people now feel confused about you. They cannot understand why your life continues moving forward. They expected you to be stuck in the pain they caused. They expected you to remain broken, but you kept evolving, and that is something they never predicted. They believed their actions had permanent power over you, but the truth is their actions only revealed who they were at that moment in their life. They did not define who you would become. Your soul refused to stay small even when the pain tried to convince you otherwise. When loneliness surrounded you, even when the silence felt heavy, you continued growing. And now the difference between your spirit and theirs has become clear. You chose healing, some of them chose denial. You chose reflection, some of them chose distraction. You chose truth, some of them chose to hide from it, and that difference is what they are beginning to feel. No, beloved one, there were moments when you asked the universe a question. Did this happen to me? Why did people I trusted act this way? Did I have to experience such deep betrayal? Those questions were real. Those feelings were honed. Stand. Heaven never ignored them, but sometimes the answer to those questions is revealed slowly, because the lesson is not only about what they did. The lesson is about who you became afterward. You became someone who understands energy, Simeon, who can sense the truth behind people's words, Simeon, who no longer ignores the quiet warnings inside the heart. That kind of awareness is rare, and it was born through experience. So there is another truth that may surprise you. Not everyone who regrets their actions will come back to apologize. Some people will never say the words "I am sorry," not because they feel nothing, but because their pride is still fighting their conscience. Pride can be very loud, but conscience is very patient, and over time a conscience usually wins, even if no apology is ever spoken, even if you never hear their confession. Spiritual balance still happens. The realization still grows inside the mind. Your peace does not depend on their admission. Your peace comes from something deeper, from knowing that you survived, from knowing that your spirit remained intact, from knowing that your kindness was never weakness, it was strength. Strength that many people do not understand until it is too late. You must also remember something important about your own heart. You are allowed to move on. You are allowed to stop replaying the past. You are allowed to release the memories that still try to hurt you. Healing does not mean pretending nothing happened. Healing means refusing to let the past control your future, and you are already walking in that direction. Every step you take toward peace is powerful. Every moment you choose calm instead of anger is powerful every time you focus on your purpose instead of your pain. Your spirit becomes lighter, and when your spirit becomes lighter, new doors begin to open, opportunities appear. People who truly respect your energy begin entering your life because your vibration has changed. You no longer carry the same wounds. You carry wisdom, and wisdom attracts different connections, different environments, different possible issues. Is why the chapter you are entering now feels different. You are not the same person you were before. You see more clearly, you trust your intuition more deeply, you value your peace more than approval, and that transformation is something many people will notice, even the ones who once doubted you, even the ones who once tried to break your confidence. They see it now, they feel it now. Your spirit is stronger than it was before. But listen carefully to this last truth we want to leave with you. Do not allow their regret to pull you backwards. Sometimes when people begin to realize their mistakes, they try to reconnect, they try to return, they try to reopen doors that were already closed. And this is where your wisdom must guide you. Forgiveness is powerful, but forgiveness does not always mean access. You can release anger without reopening the same wounds. You can wish someone healing without inviting them back into your life. Your peace must remain protected because peace is sacred. It is the foundation of the new life you are building. So walk forward with confidence now. Do not look behind you with sadness. Look behind you with understanding. Basis everything you experienced shaped the strength you carry today, and the future waiting for you is far brighter than the past. You survived, you were never abandoned, you were being prepared for a life that requires courage, prepared for a destiny that requires clarity, prepared for a path where your spirit becomes a light for others, and that light is something no one can still. No one can silence, no one can destroy, because it was placed inside you by something far greater, and that divine spark is still guiding you forward step by step into the life that was always meant for you.